Much, John, and hello, everybody. And it's wonderful to be talking to you today. I'm going to be talking about ebooks, um, where we are with our book collection, and really how to publish with us. So I just want to reach out to you guys. My email address is there. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions afterwards. We will have time for questions as well during this session. Okay. So, just a little bit about me. I am based in the UK, and I've worked in academic science, technical, and medical publishing for 20 years now. And I studied publishing in Scotland. I've worked at various academic publishers, and I've worked in England, Scotland, and Ireland. So, today's agenda. So, first of all, I'm going to touch upon um, the formats of the different content we have available, and maybe it will start you thinking about what's the correct format for my particular content, for my field, for what I'm researching and writing. Publication in books, the types of books and subjects that we publish in Elsevier, very broad, um, and the actual development and assessment of the book proposal, which is what you would complete once you're ready, to initiate the book publishing sort of process, and how you go about that, and some useful information for you when you're ready to take that step. Preparing your manuscript for submission, and then I'll just touch a little bit about the editorial and publishing processes themselves, and how we get that material, that content from your brain to being published online on Science Direct, and in print globally. So I've also got some information very quickly about some wider initiatives, which are being done by Elsevier, and useful links at the end. All right. So before all that, I just put together a little bit of information. I was looking at recent books from the regions I understand who are attending today, and so I was just briefly looking at, this is Institut Pasteur in obviously in Paris, and I was just looking at publications there. Over to the far right is one of the major reference works, and the other two are our what we call serials. So Paris-based researchers, and again, the book in the middle is particularly interesting on rabies. That's been a very popular title, and yeah, over to the right, Advances in Biogerontology, which is actually one of our newer serials, which is doing really well. Over to Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. Just some related information for those regions. Okay, so really, this is from a very brief search today on Science Direct. So, you know, the platform really is incredibly in terms of geographic location of both the authors and the actual content. So that's a real plus point for working with Elsevier. Okay, so as I mentioned in the agenda, which format is most suitable for my content? So Elsevier is well known for its journals. There are over 5,000 journals published by the business, but we do have a substantial books publishing operation. So today, my particular role is to talk about the books, but here I just wanted to outline the different content types and where they may go. So for journals, there tends to be very specialized knowledge, topic focused, in-depth discussions, latest research developments, recent findings, very quick turnaround times with journals, which is the modus operandi of journals, and new techniques, and particularly methods, very important. So that's very briefly the scope of journals content, journals articles. Obviously, people will be submitting usually just one chapter per volume, and over to books, which is obviously a very different type of product. You know, we expect authors either to be working on monographs, which is where they produce all the chapters themselves, or on edited books, where it's a collection of people in related subjects and has an overall editor. So books will be, leveraging new research, comprehensive coverage is the idea. Um, Very much a focus on being a learning tool, for undergraduates, postgraduates in particular, if it's, if that's the purpose. Broad perspective and very, new approaches or a kind of an update refreshment on knowledge is the broad definition of publishing within our books. So, firstly, just rewinding and going back to the very basics of why write a book. So, I mean, there's more motivations for doing this, I'm sure, but these are the ones that occur, by and large, in day-to-day discussions with our authors and editors. So often it's an interest and passion. It's expanding your publishing portfolio across different platforms that we use in Elsevier, and people feel like they wish to contribute and stay fulfilled in the discipline, and publishing books in your area is one way to fill that. Basically, there again an unmet market need, and it could be that what you are working on, what you're writing, fills a gap in the literature, and so that's a perfect opportunity to publish that with us, and it could provide a voice for a very underrepresented market at present. Prestige, so being recognized as a leader and expert in a topic, and again, a desire to educate, particularly with foundational content, so sharing new methods, teaching methods and knowledge with the next generation. So publications in books, the types of books and subjects published by Elsevier. So I showed in the slide from the Institute Pasteur, one of those publications was a major reference work, which are large, multi-volume publications. They can be up to 26 volumes in length, and those are huge publishing undertakings, and they can take up to 2 to 3 years from beginning to end in that kind of reference product. But we also have obviously other publications, so textbooks, foundational content to undergraduate students across all subject areas, which are listed there. I won't read them all out, but we start with those textbooks. We have reference books on diverse subjects, and they focus on topics within their particular portfolio, and those are for graduate students and researchers. We have serials, and so at present we have 77 serials within Elsevier. They publish a set number of titles per year. They're very similar to journals in a lot of respects because they have an ISSN as well as an ISBN. They have the journal's production workflow, so that means they are published very quickly and they go to market very quickly. So the benefit for the author is that they gather usage and citations very quickly from submission. So once an author submits their final manuscript to Elsevier, serials are published online on Science Direct within 30 days. If it's LaTeX, which we are used to working with, and we have a dedicated supplier who works with LaTeX, that's just 5 days additional. So final submission 35 days later, LaTeX will be published online and in print. We also publish book series, sets of books within a limited number of volumes on a specific topic, and each volume covers a subtopic within that, and major reference which I've already touched upon. So across all subject areas, as you can see there. So think about your particular area, but also what kind of product would it fit within, and Elsevier can obviously take that forward. Okay, research reference. So I just wanted to summarize the types of content for you. So this pyramid is quite handy for just outlining this very briefly. So major reference works, they're comprehensive, they're foundational introduction to a discipline. They're done in encyclopedia format, but also comprehensives. Comprehensives go into a lot more detail than encyclopedias, but a very similar multi-volume product. Usually I have an editorial team in charge, an editor-in-chief. Textbooks, so pedagogical examination, presentation of key subject area concepts and in particular methods, which is really important, very popular. Handbooks, this is a huge part of what we do. It's a compendium of information and data sets for that particular field, and providing quick answers on the job. So to give an example, handbooks in economics is a very well-known series within Elsevier, published by the North Holland imprint. And it's a very prestigious list. We have over 40 Nobel Prize winners in economics who've published within that series. So it's very, it's very popular. It's very trusted, particularly for postdocs, for people working in industry, and we have that level of handbook integrity, across the publishing spectrum within Elsevier. Monographs, single volume references as well, serials, which I've touched upon already. Yeah, we have 77 different serial titles across, all the different subject areas, from social sciences through to chemistry, earth and environment studies, physics, right across to transport. So it's very broad. And then obviously, just to provide the full picture, we have journal review articles, and then journal articles as well. So different purposes, scientific advances to deepen knowledge, to methods and processes, to definitions in foundational content. It's just being really aware of the market for Elsevier, and publishing your content in the right place. Okay, so an important aspect of what we do in Elsevier is supporting learning and research for people at different stages of their career, essentially. So Science Direct is very much tailored with tools and the ability to use the material in different ways. And so, keep it in mind right through from undergraduates, masters, PhD, postdoc and early career, right through to established researchers and people working in industry. So just briefly, for undergraduates, understanding the fundamentals, concepts, and textbooks, major reference works, getting up to speed in new interdisciplinary subject areas, so foundational content with textbooks, major reference works, and to more advanced content, jumping ahead to established researchers. There's reference books. Also, we've got journals in there. We've got high-level monographs as well. So these are published on, a monthly and annual basis. So this just gives you a snapshot of the material that we publish, and it's aimed at, different audiences. Okay, so this slide just gives you an idea of Science Direct and, where our different content types operate and exist amongst each other. So Science Direct is very comprehensive in terms of what it provides. On there, you can see related material. You can see via Plumx metrics, um, relevance, social media links as well, where that material is, that particular chapter down to a granular level is being discussed on social media. So, people can quickly surface where that content is being discussed online, um, right through to citation information and to other related material. Um, we have free topic pages that provide readers with a database with reliable background and contextual knowledge, and these help to connect students and researchers to summarize knowledge. And the main focus of Science Direct is for it to be a discovery tool for further trusted reading. And so journal articles, over 5.8 million journal articles are on there, 23 million hits a month on Science Direct. And yeah, it's incredibly effective platform for your content, your research. Okay, publishing within our books. So the very first step for you as an author is to complete our book proposal form, which you'll be able to get the link at the end, which is available in a very brief online search. And you would complete that form and, provide definition of your topic, relevance for the scientific community, who you think the readership are, what the benefits and features are of your publication, and bear in mind here, figures, tables, use cases, particularly methodology, if that's relevant. Have a think about competitors, what you have seen, what you've read so far, and how you think your content differs to that. That really helps us. That really helps our sales teams as well. And obviously, we work with academic librarians, and we can give them accurate, accurate information for them to consider when they are adding to their collections. And yeah, list of authors, and keep in mind there, I'll touch upon this in a bit more detail shortly, but keep in mind diversity in terms of gender and geographic location as well. And there's no maximum number of pages. There's no cost for editors and authors with our books. Okay, so once that has been agreed, once a contract has been signed, and once a delivery date has been agreed, then you and your authors, if you're working with colleagues, will begin preparing the manuscript for submission. Now, Elsevier has a system called ELSA, which has been, produced in the last 2 to 3 years. It's an authoring tool that streamlines the writing process for authors and editors and contributors. It's very user friendly. You can easily collaborate with, project members. It really helps to keep the project organized, and helps with tasks such as clearing permissions, and enables the writing process. It's really built with collaboration in mind. So it's incredibly popular, and it's our go-to system for working with our authors. So in terms of the actual content, keep in mind the title, making it effective for online search engines, the table of contents, put in mind a well-organized list of contributors as well. Figures, illustrations, permissions. We usually request a minimum of 300 DPI for figures, and clearing permissions for those. Chapters, an average chapter usually between 8 to 10,000 words, but of course those can be longer. That is absolutely fine. and what we ask for is having an abstract and keywords, which really helps with discoverability. So this is, I won't read through each of these, but there is obviously an Elsevier book publishing cycle that we go through. So we aim to help you by keeping it as simple as possible and to be with you and work as a partner as you prepare your manuscript, and we go through the process to making your work available for readers, available to academic librarians. So we get the book proposal submission, we go through peer review, we get your input on that, and then revises if that's required. It may not always be. Then we approve and provide the contract for you, the actual contributor agreement. Royalties are part of the remuneration. Some products, such as cereals, just have a flat fee. So there's different honoraria sort of payment structures, and you can negotiate to a certain extent with your editorial contact about that. You, as an author, also receive a 30% discount across all Elsevier titles. You'll receive a share link as well, and you can share your typeset material with your network, freely available for 50 days. You'll also obviously receive complimentary copies of your title. So the manuscript will then be submitted, and it will go through the production process. So that obviously that will start with copy editing, go to typesetting, proofreading, indexing, and obviously conversion for online publication and into print format as well. So the publication stage. And then obviously Elsevier has the benefit of global distribution, sales, and marketing. And we'll then put those into action. And the idea, then is to generate a wide audience for your material. So just to elaborate on the editorial and publishing processes. So this is really important to us, and something we take incredibly serious. So copy editing and proofreading is done by our suppliers, and text will be read, and proofs will be made available. It'll be edited. Proofs will be made available to improve readability for our users. Typesetting. So we have a wide design selection of templates, and these are applied, to the chapters to ensure they're consistent. The two examples there are from 1990. Obviously, these templates get updated on a very regular timescale. So if people order the print version, we have a nice layout. It's modern. It's nice to read. It's a nice reading experience, and there's an importance on paper and quality of the printed products as well. The cover, the development of the cover gets started 8 months before publication, and this is initiated with our cover design team, and editors and authors are involved in the process, and will often select, cover images, and will approve the layout of their book. Okay. So another important aspect of what we do, and in particular in my job, is listening to what you have to say, and what we learn from our customers and users is incredibly important for us. So things that we need to keep in mind as well are how important visuals are to the success of your material, making it available quickly and making sure it's understood quickly, ensuring that it's discovered quickly. Reproducibility, um, showing us your work and showing the readership your work, ensuring that trust and integrity is there. That's absolutely critical. And using peer reviews, using editorial approval, bandwidth. Everyone. We understand that people are time poor, and that's why Elsevier develops tools such as Elsa to help with this. And we have dedicated teams who will help authors in terms of permissions, cover design, production. This is all about adding value to your content. Okay, researcher needs definitely include book content, and that's because interdisciplinary research is really important, and we see this from usage on Science Direct, what people are accessing and where they go to on their journey within Science Direct is incredibly important to them, and we see this. Most people are now actively involved in interdisciplinary research, and so foundational areas are incredibly important here, so that people get the key information they need really quickly and they get understanding really quickly. So that's very important. And people, users, academics, undergraduates, people need the most relevant content to answer their question, and that it's important that that isn't hindered by content types or format. It's important that people get what they need quickly from our publications. Okay, inclusion, diversity, which I briefly mentioned earlier. So it's important for us that obviously we represent society in terms of who we publish, so making sure that we have a real focus on, for example, genders, different ages, for ensuring that we have coverage across southern, northern hemispheres. Make a focus on the global south has been particularly important, and making sure we promote inclusion and diversity best practices within what we do. So we work with academics, publishers, and funders, to promote greater gender and racial and ethnic diversity. So that's important to us, and we we'll communicate this as well to our editors and to our authors to keep that in mind wherever possible. Okay, so again, we on the book proposal form, there's a place there to keep this dialogue going and to make sure it's mirrored within the content as well. So this all helps with the ultimate success of your publication. Okay, so that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. I hope that's given you an insight and a flavour into publishing books with Elsevier. I put together some useful links, including this also has the book proposal form on the second slide, which will be available to you. Like I say, do let me know if you need any information from myself, and I will be very happy to help you. And I'm very happy to take any questions as well.
Thank you very much, Jason. It was very interesting. So now, everyone, you can ask questions in the Q&A or in the chat. For the moment, I don't see any questions, so don't be shy. You can also raise your hand and talk English if you feel like it. But yeah, I won't impose that. So we will wait a bit, few minutes. Otherwise, you can leave earlier, of course. But for the one, because I know this question is recurring, and I answered already to it in the beginning, but I prefer to say it again. About the certificate, you will receive an email with all the information. So no need to ask this question. So yeah, the Q&A is enabled. the chat as well. Post where you want, raise your hand, and yeah, do do what you want. Hmm. Um, Jason, could you explain how to write a good summary for a book proposal?
Yeah, that's a great question. A good summary. Say I would say really thinking about the key headline points that you want to get across within your work. I think it's probably something that is critical for us internally when we're looking at book proposals. We just want to see a real clear summary, really, of the content, and um, and so I would say just take some time to making it as, in some ways, as simplified as possible. Really pull out the key elements. Um, Obviously later on you'll list the individual chapter titles and different subject areas, but you may just want to almost see it as a kind of a strategy statement, really, um, of what you want to achieve with this book. Um, so yeah, that maybe have a look at other ones in a similar field, just to get a feel for how other people have approached this. If you can see that, have a look on Science Direct, or do a Google search. You'll be able to see, um, on elsevier.com how that kind of information is presented. So that might give you some ideas as well. Um, yeah, those are the main ideas I think I have. But obviously, feel free to reach out to your editorial contact. They may have some specific information for your particular book that may help to nurture that for you.
Thank you, Jason. I will put the link also from Researcher Academy that can help you about finding content around yeah books and journal. Um, we have other questions. So, as a PhD student, is it reasonable to create a book proposal, or is it better to have someone with more anxiety, so to wait a bit? But when yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I would don't be reluctant to contacting one of our editorial colleagues at Elsevier to just to share your ideas, because um, we're looking at publishing content across a broad spectrum. You know, depending on where you are in your career, hopefully Elsevier can work with you as time progresses. So I would say don't be put off as a PhD student from contacting a publisher. Hopefully Elsevier. So yeah, please please just make that step, reach out, contact. That you'll be put in touch with a relevant person in your subject area, and they will be best placed to advise you, I would say. Um, there's a real focus on publishing early researchers and promoting early researchers. I've seen this recently in the serials division, and it's been used as an opportunity to publish early career um, people within serials and promote them and their work. So I would say just keep that in mind, and hopefully that will stand you in good stead.
yeah, don't be shy. Um, so we have other question. So I see, Mr. Bulkrun, you raise your hand, so I allow you to talk if you want, but I saw you wrote your question down. Um, yeah, so you wanted to talk directly? You can. Maybe you have an issue with your microphone because I see it's activated, but we don't hear anything. So meanwhile, let's ask another question because we have plenty, and we can go back to you after. So What factors influence the success and impact of academic ebook today? Sorry, in English.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. I would say, I mean, there's a there's, there's a few indicators of success, and I would say currency. I would say being really targeted towards your specific audience, um, relevancy, you know, those kind of aspects. Um, you know, really, um, those those aspects of sort of reproducibility, if you can include methods content, that's very popular. Um, so yeah, those are the things that jump out to me when thinking about that. I think just being really clear on who you think your audience are, what makes your publication um, different from competitors, and that will really help. You know, that will help academic librarians to understand why they need to um, make your content available within their institution, for example. Um, so yeah, just keep those aspects in mind.
Sure. Uh, I heard you coughing, Mr. Bolkroon, so maybe your microphone is on now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
perfectly.
Yeah, I would like to make sure that you can hear. Yes?
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
perfectly.
Yeah. So I would like to first to express my thanks for the organizers of the present presentation, and a big thanks goes to the presenter, of course. It was indeed insightful and very helpful. My concern, my question is. Though it is insightful, I'm a little bit at a loss, you see, because I don't know how to proceed from now. What is the first step I mean to take in order for one to publish a book or an article, or I mean, how to get engaged? I mean, to cut it short. And thank you.
yeah, yeah. Very good question. Thank you so much for that. I would say download the book proposal form, have a look at that, begin to fill that in. Hopefully, that will steer you in lots of ways to complete that for your particular work. Um, if you're if you're still unsure, you know, reach out to Elsevier customer services, and what they will do is put you right. They will connect you with the exact right person for your particular subject area, and they can then they will hook you up, and you can then take the communication forward and take the idea forward together. But I would say the very first step is the book proposal form, or have a look at Elsevier website, which has got all the information synthesized together. But certainly the book proposal form, I would say, is the right place to begin.
Yeah,
I will add in the
thank you.
chat some useful link about that, about how to create and submit a proposal directly on the website.
Hmm.
Do you have any other question? Okay, I will pass to the other question then. Thank you very much for your question. So we have one in the Q&A. So I don't know if you can answer to this one. I guess it's quite broad, so maybe it's about journal. But how many time can we resubmit an article, for instance, within a journal?
Ah, as I'm a books person, so I don't
Yeah.
know. To be honest with you, I don't know the exact answer to that. So I would say reach out to Elsevier customer services, um, or if you want, drop me an email, Ivelo, drop me an email, and I will take it forward with a colleague and get an answer for you. But yeah, I'm so sorry. My background isn't in journals particularly, but I have certainly a network of colleagues so I can get an answer to you quickly.
Yeah, same here. I will have a look quickly to be sure. I have my ID, but I don't want to say wrong information, so I will check after otherwise and just specify it in the follow-up email that I will send to you with the recording, etc. So no worries. We have some other in the chat. So about the topic, is it preferable to write a book on a broad topic or to focus on a very specialized area?
Yeah, okay. Well, I would say that depends on your particular subject area and the audience that you are trying to reach. I think you'll probably already have an idea about that. So, I mean, would it sit within a textbook for an undergraduate, foundational content, or is your specialism, far more advanced than that? Would it go into a book serial? Um, so that's really down to where you are with your subject area and what you would like to pursue. So yeah, really think about it and keep that in mind when completing your book proposal. Um, I would say it's entirely down to you and your own particular circumstances.
Yeah, very specific. Um, what is the most common mistakes authors make when submitting their initial book proposal that leads to a rejection?
Um, I don't know if these are mistakes as such. I think um, it just may be a case that that subject is not being pursued, for example, any longer. It may not be an area that's relevant for the publishing program at this particular time, or maybe there exists a book already that covers the material exactly like that. So it you know it I'm, I would say don't think of it as a mistake. I think it just could come down to the fact that there's already a product there for this, and you just need to work on adjusting the book proposal and idea. That's that is often um, circumstance if a proposal got rejected, or if it's an edited book and the maybe the chapters are I'm just trying to think of certain examples. Maybe the chapters are being written by perhaps too many colleagues in one particular department in one location, if that makes sense. It's often better to have a broad spread, geographical spread, ideally if possible. Um, yeah, I think those are just some aspects to consider. They're not really mistakes as such. Just keep in mind the aspects that I've kind of talked about today, and yeah, work with your editorial contact. They will be able to advise you specifically and give you some real specific information. If it comes to that, it may well not. It may well not do. So yeah, keep that in mind.
You. So this one maybe for the next question you can answer for the books and I can complete. But in your experience, how is academic publishing evolving with digital transformation and AI tools?
Yeah, absolutely correct. AI is right with us. In fact, Elsevier has been working with AI for 20 years now. So powering tools that we use, Science Direct as an online platform. But obviously, authors, academics, all parts of society now are using AI, particularly um, to help them do what they do. I would say have a look. It's quite a broad subject area, so have a look. In fact, I've got the link here. about using AI and generative AI when writing for Elsevier. So that will give you a comprehensive view from Elsevier, and not, other publishers as well will have a similar sort of policy. So take a look at that. That will help inform you as you go along. But Elsevier, as with all publishers, understand that AI is here and it's to be used to help us to be more productive, to synthesize information, etc. But yeah, just keep in mind Elsevier's particular take on it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And in Elsevier, the number of submission also of article very increase since the last years. Like the number of publication is really increasing with these new technologies. The quality of the article can be also a problem because many people are using AI in let's say in a bad way, not for because for discovering it can be wonderful, but also for writing it can lead to very bad articles. So also in Elsevier we adapt with that. We have tools to detect AI. We have guidelines like Jason show in the chat, and also we have a ethic team. I will send you a webinar that we made last year about ethics and AI that can be very interesting for you. It's 1 hour of this kind of format, but just toward ethics and AI. But we are expanding a lot our ethics team regarding AI in order to keep our journal and books the best possible, the best quality, and to don't be tricked by poor quality article written by AI. But definitely, it's transforming the whole landscape.
Yeah, I agree, Joan. Quality and integrity of the content are absolutely paramount. So yeah, that the link posted gives key information about this. And for example, with figures, illustrations, Elsevier doesn't permit AI generated or AI altered images to be submitted. So that kind of thing, it will be useful for prospective authors just to have a look at that.
Yeah. So we still have 10 minutes and we have not so many questions anymore. So someone is asking, I don't know if you can answer that directly, but how can we convince Elsevier of the value of our topic? How can you convince an editor of the value of your topic?
Yeah, okay. I would say, you could just provide perhaps some supporting information, particularly data. Elsevier people love data. So, um, perhaps the number of students who are studying this particular area or where funding is going to this particular area. If there's you see a rapid increase in this and it's developing, you could work with your editor to discuss conferences and how this is becoming a prominent topic. Also, are we seeing other competitor publishers publishing in this particular area as well? So I guess just provide some supporting information, just to back up what you were saying, what your argument is, what your proposal is. That will all help for sure, and to just provide some contextual information. We also have some useful tools that we can call upon. So we use SciVal, and we can search within SciVal to get an idea of the size of subject areas, potential subject areas, to see what's developing, what areas are growing as well. So yeah, that I would say that kind of information is always good. And other things as well, like it could be society meetings, new societies, yeah, where you are getting your information, pass that information to your editorial contacts. That can only be a good thing.
Yeah. Just to do a bit of advertising for our webinar series. Soon I will present a webinar around Scival for researcher. So how to promote yourself, like some bibliometrics technique. If you have Scival, it can be interesting for you. Otherwise, that's true. If you don't have the tool, it might be not very useful. But for the ones that have Scival, you can attend this webinar. I put in the chat the page with all the webinars we are organizing for this quarter. Don't hesitate to come here to subscribe and to see our webinars directly, but to participate. Sorry, my English is a bit wrong. Then we have the same question about AI, so I won't ask it again. Is there a cooperation agreement? Oh, but this one is more for my colleague Bishoy. I don't know if you are in the chat, Bishoy. No. Is there a cooperation agreement or a treaty with Morocco regarding submission of articles? So, as far as I know, no, there is no agreement, transformative agreement or anything in Morocco, but double check with your library directly. They will know better than I do because it's more my colleague Bishoy. I will add his email also in the recap, so you can contact him if you want to know more about that. In France, we have a transformative agreement, so you can publish with free APC, but for Morocco, I don't think it's the case.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, John.
Speaking about AI and the link you shared, is it just about books or about articles also? It's about everything. It's about books and articles. And that's it. I will check the Q&A quickly. Don't hesitate to raise your hand or anything. If you see, if you have another question. Okay. Then I think we are good. Thank you so much, Jason. It was very interesting. I learned myself many things. I'm not so informed about books, and it was
Thank you.
super interesting. For
Thank you
those
so
who arrive in the middle of it, don't worry. I will publish it on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where you can find all our recordings in French. If you speak English, also you have more content. If you speak German, even more. But it's European Hub, EMEA Hub, so European Middle East Africa. And yeah, thank you again, Jason, for your time and for being here this morning.
Oh, likewise, and thank you to everyone who attended.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question and your application. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye bye.